You know that space between deciding and doing? That tiny gap where the intention is there, but the action hasn't started yet? That's where readiness lives. And I'm currently living in this space. I'm a little more than a week away from my new training cycle. And before the workouts ramp up, before the food plans tighten, before the structure gets real, I'm in what I call the get ready phase. And listen, this is often the part that people skip, or the part they rush through. This is the part of the process that people sometimes treat like a formality, but it is everything. Getting ready is where I clear the noise. It's where I create a framework that will lead me where I want to go. It's where I make sure my plans actually fit my busy real life, not the fantasy version of my life or the perfect week version. It's not the if everything goes right version of my life, but the eating dinner on the run, my paper is due, my daughter needs picked up, and my community at Lifting Your Life Coaching are waiting for me to deliver a good workshop before my workout happens version. It's where all my success starts, the planning phase. Because if a plan doesn't fit your life, it won't last. And if it doesn't last, it can't help you get where you're trying to go. Whether you're training for something, preparing for a life transition, or just trying to make your week a little less stressful and chaotic, this episode's for you. We're talking about how to create plans that are flexible, simple, and sustainable so that your life supports your goals, not the other way around. So, let's get ready. Welcome to episode 48 of Making Mel Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look really messy, and other days flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So let's get into it. When I make a plan, I need to make sure that I have flexibility, clear details, and little to no need to make those day-to-day decisions. I'm not being controlling. I'm really protecting my energy. And the people around me sometimes have to be flexible and supportive too. Life can get very unpredictable when you're busy, and learning to pivot and be flexible is the space that many of us need. When I plan with flexibility, I'm saying to myself, future me deserves less chaos, less decision fatigue, and more fixed but flexible options. Think back to a time when you felt overwhelmed. Not because life was impossible, but because nothing was decided. Meals weren't planned, workouts weren't scheduled, and your priorities just weren't clear. Everything felt urgent because nothing was defined. That's what getting ready protects you from. Coach Val often says, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. And there is so much truth in that statement. I stopped viewing planning as a punishment a very long time ago. Planning is my support system. It's one of my superpowers. Planning doesn't put me in a cage. It allows me to take flight. Plans give me something to lean on when life gets loud and unpredictable. It offers me structure when my brain wants to spiral from the sheer magnitude of the day-to-day. Plans allow for an anchor. They act as a placeholder when emotions want to take over and scrap the schedule. Getting ready is how you build that support before you need it. Every plan, just like every season, has a rhythm, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that rhythm matters. The beginning is really where you set the tone. It's the groundwork where the foundation is set. Your foundation determines every other move you make. So starting slow, steady, and small is exceptionally important. This is where your routine, volume, and commitment is built. The middle, that's where you build the muscle, whether it's physical or mental. This is where the plan may get a little bit more intense. The end is where you integrate all the things you build along the way in your plan. This is the stage where you often assess, reflect, and reset. The rhythm of a plan gives your effort meaning and direction. It tells your body and mind, this season has structure, and this season has a purpose. If your plan doesn't leave room for your life, then it's not a plan. It's a pressure cooker, and there's no way that it'll be sustainable. Real life has sick kids and long work days and last-minute interruptions, travel, stress, curveballs. A good plan expects all of that, and a good plan can bend without breaking. Good plans have space for you to be human. That's why the getting ready phase really matters. It's where you build the rhythm before you even start the season. So let's talk about food for a minute. That part can make or break your rhythm, whether it's a training cycle or just your day-to-day life. In order to know how to plan for your meals, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or an athlete planning for an upcoming event, you have to understand and know your goals to plan for meals that best serve your needs. If you're in the middle of a weight loss journey, you need to plan your meals accordingly. You need to consider the range of calories or macros or points or whatever you need, and then plan your meals that support what you need. Athletes and training cycles require a different approach. Macros need to be calculated and determined based on energy needs for workouts and just regular life. I'm planning my meals for the next 12 weeks, and I used AI to help me build the plan, complete with recipes and grocery lists that I need. I'm not going to have time to decide many of these things once I'm in the middle of that training cycle. I'm planning additional meal planning sessions around my breaks at school because my workload for my classes, they determine a great deal about my availability. I just want to enter the details of my grocery list and have my groceries delivered in the middle of that training cycle. The last thing I need when I have a week of working 70 hours and doing 3 separate workouts without neglecting time with my daughter or my need for sleep is to have the pressing need to sit down and figure out what the heck I'm going to be eating this week so my nutritional needs are met and my energy supported. When I typically plan, even leftovers are part of that plan. I'll give you an example. Last Sunday, I pulled out a 16-pound turkey out of the freezer. Yes, 16 pounds. I bought it at Thanksgiving time, and I decided this was the week. So I roasted it, carved it, and turned that turkey into a week of meals. Now, on Sunday, we had turkey, potatoes, gravy, and roasted vegetables. Then the rest of the week was pot pie, sandwiches, turkey wild rice soup, wraps, and finally, turkey tetrazzini. I had protein for days, I had all the ingredients I needed, and I even froze some of the soup for later. It was one big effort on Sunday, but it was multiple easy wins during the week. And that's the point. The freedom is in planning for options. Good meals that support my needs and make the cooking during the week exceptionally easy. My goal was never to eat perfectly. My goal is to eat intentionally. I need to meet my macros and make protein-heavy meals with lots of vegetables and enough carbs to support my energy. And I need those choices to be the easiest choice in the room. Getting ready with food isn't about being strict. It's about removing friction. It's about making the supportive choice the simplest choice. It's about creating a rhythm that feeds your energy instead of draining it. And getting ready applies to everything. Whether you're training for a 5K or preparing for a trip, resetting your health, maybe starting a new job or even navigating a new season in life, or simply trying to make next week feel less chaotic. Imagine if you've planned a vacation or a trip and you didn't plan what you were taking. You might show up in Aruba with a suitcase full of clothing and no underwear. That's problematic to say the very least. Planning keeps us on track and gets us ready with the tools we need for success. For me, a plan needs 3 different things. It needs a time frame, it needs a focus, and it needs flexibility. That's the trio. That's my anchor. Time frames offer boundaries. Focus gives direction. And flexibility leads to sustainability. When you combine those 3, you stop relying on motivation and start relying on structure. You stop hoping things will work out and start creating the conditions where the only thing they can do is work out. Structure can give us success on the days when motivation is gone, and motivation is gonna leave. No one feels motivated every day, and if they say they do, they're probably not being honest. Getting ready is how you build that foundation that supports success no matter how you feel or where your motivation is day to day. Getting ready is not a delay tactic, and it's not procrastination or avoidance. It's how you say, I care enough about this goal or this journey to prepare. It's how you protect your peace before the pressure hits. It's how you make sure that you can finish strong, not just start strong. When you take the time to get ready and plan, you're telling yourself, my goal matters, my well-being matters, and my energy matters. Getting ready shouldn't slow you down. It should set you up. It steadies you and strengthens you and supports you. The goal is never perfection. It's always about progress. Plans give us peace paired with purpose and effort paired with ease. So as you map out whatever's next, remember, you don't have to get it all together, and you don't have to overhaul your life. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to get ready. Until next time, onward and upward, my friends.